Hey, welcome to Vicky's Corner. Welcome back. Today, I'm reading old stories I wrote as a child. Yes, even including Wattpad, stories I wrote on my notes. It's crazy, y'all, okay? These are just the ones I could find. I've written so many stories as a kid, and I still like to write. I'm writing a book now. I have my iPad here with all my old notes and my Wattpad, and I'm gonna read the first story. Princess Emerald, I guess. Let me calculate. I was about 10 years old. Okay, so before y'all come for me, I was 10 years old. This is the story I wrote as a 10-year-old kid. Once upon a time, there was a princess named Emerald. She had long, black, silky hair, green eyes, and loved green. Green jewelry, green period dress. She had a mom that was eval. So eval. So eval. I can't read this, oh my god. She threw so much parties. The poor people in her town that were never invited hated her. Yes, hated her. They all locked me up, the princess. In my very pretty green room, I was so mad. I wanted to break out, but if the queen saw me, I would be in deep trouble. So I decided to change my appearance, put a blonde wig on, and lip gloss so red it looked like a strawberry. Wow. I changed my dress to yellow. I need to find my spare key. I checked my closet. Nope, not there. I checked my drawer. Nope, not there. I looked at my hands. I got it. My nails are so long, maybe I can chip it open. I tried and tried. I got it. She keeps getting it, girl. Shh, I said to myself, I can't let the queen hear me. Hear me. I walked out to the ballroom. Everyone stopped and stared at me and said, "Who are you?" I'm Emma. They had no idea who I was. Blonde hair, yellow dress. Then the queen looked at me weirdly. "Come," she said. I walked up to her with a strong impression. "And you are?" "Emma," I said. "Oh, the queen said. "You look like my princess." "Who are you, Emerald?" The queen gasped, and she said, "Let me go check on her." She sped walked down the hallway. The crowd stopped and wondered. I knew I had to hide. Suddenly, the queen yelled from her room, "You little rat! There's no time to hide and seek." I hid behind her royal chair, but my dress was puffy. She found me and yanked my hair. My wig fell. And I started to run right through the guards and outside. The queen yelled, "Guards, get her!" Good thing I was ahead of them, and I wandered into the forest. Arrows pointed left and right, and I ran in that direction. I paused. There was a bunch of poor people that looked starving. A little girl went up to me and said, "Do you have any food?" I gasped. "I'm sorry, I don't at the moment." The guard said, "We are looking for Emerald." I hid in the bank made of wood. The banker stared at me. There was a boy on a horse passing through the town. The guards were gone, so I ran to that boy and asked him, "Hello, I'm Emerald." He said, "Hi, pretty stranger." "Oh, you don't know me?" "Nope," he said. "I'm the princess of the land." "Oh, no wonder you're so pretty." "Thank you," I said. "Will you like to ride my horse?" He said. "Sure." We got lost in the woods. It was dark and there was no place to go. That was Princess Emerald. You'll see the themes of riding off with the prince or a guy on a horse. I was just a little girl, okay, writing princess stories. Here's the weirdest one I wrote as a 10-year-old. I wrote books about my sister, so I'm so sorry if you're watching this. I'm Vicky and I'm writing this book about Audrey's weird life. Audrey had 5 cats, but one of her cats died, so she adopted 5 more. I don't know what is going on here. Audrey's best friend was Leaf. Leaf was a cowgirl. Leaf had a friend named Panningay. I don't know what Panningay is. I think I tried to write something and that word came up. Panningay was dating Harry Styles. Harry Styles really likes Leaf, so Harry called Leaf on her cell phone and he said, I have to tell you something. Her face was like, so Harry said, "I really like you." So she said yes, before he said, "I want to go on a date." So before the date, she got ready and she wore ripped jeans, light green rain boots, and a sweater. They went for dinner. Leaf's mama came and ate their dinner. Audrey was still out in the garden. One of her cats were dying, and this hillbilly named This hillbilly named McBob saw her and fell in love. He ran to her. He said, "Hi." He said, "How do you do?" And he said, "Oh, howdy, Audrey. I like the smell of manure." He said, "Me too." Then he said, "Will you go on a date with me?" Audrey said, "Okay." So the next day, Audrey wore overalls with dirty brown pants and pink cowboy boots. Audrey was ready, so she went to the same dinner as Leaf. Leaf looked at McBob weirdly, and she walked out sadly. Leaf dated McBob. McBob said, "Leaf, no, I'm sorry, no, wait." He went off running. Audrey and Harry Styles was just left there. Harry said, "I'm out of here." Audrey went home, and Audrey's cat was dead, so she adopted 5 more. The end. Here's the other last story about my sister. I'm so sorry to her. I don't know what I was doing. Once upon a time, there was a princess named Audrey. She lived with animals like pigs, cows, and she cleans up their manure every day. Yes, not a fairy tale. So Audrey's dress looked like a lit up Christmas tree. One day, Audrey was riding her best friend, her pig, through the garden, and she saw this boy riding on a horse. She smells like cow poo, but she tried to get closer. But Audrey was heavy and the pig can't move. The boy was on the horse and went away. So Audrey went back there to her castle and wrote in her diary. Meanwhile, the maid chased the pig. Then Audrey saw a boy on a horse and wanted to get to know him better because the king and the queen wanted Audrey to get a husband. Then the maid said hi and he left after Audrey went to go pick up some apples in the garden and saw that boy and ran to him and garbed and grabbed his nice clothes and said, "Hey, my name is ... What would a princess say? Princess." And he said, "His name is McBob." McBob. No wonder he turned and ran away. They dated before, but he has nice clothes. He didn't look like the hillbilly. He didn't look like a hillbilly, neither did Audrey. She said, "Can we start over?" He said, "No," and rode off. How can Audrey win his heart? Oh, McBob. I guess we'll never know because that story never got finished. I also wrote this story called Atlantis, which is about Atlantis. It was more like a children's book. I wrote it in like 5th grade. It's a really cute story, and I always thought about making it into like a children's book one day, but it was crazy because my teachers didn't believe that I wrote the book for some reason. To start off, Arc and Elements. Okay, this was supposed to be a book me and my friend was writing in like 7th grade, and I couldn't tell you the plot of it, so let's see. Let me see what the 2 sentences of the summary is. When a not so called average mage, Amika unfolds the truth about who she really is and her past, leads her into something more crazy than she thought. I was like 13 years old. How short chapter 1 is. Chapter 1, Annual Lights Festival. Woo, woo, yeah! Cheers, dancing, and laughter filled the streets. It was the Annual Lights Festival. People showcasing tricks and their arcs. I think arcs is like magic. Tambourine shaking. Everyone with family and friends enjoying the festivities. Leah and I smiled to one another, watching the vibrant sparks flare in the sky. We don't always seem to get out much anymore, but this festival was a must. When Leah pointed to a firework, a man yelled over the cheerful crowd, "Come on, grab my hand." Jason shot a bubbly smile at me. His light brown hair and his tall, slim figure stretched, reaching his hand out. I was hesitant to take his hand, looking for Leah's approval. When she smiled and nodded, quick on my feet, I was dancing and the tips of my toes around Jason. The known nickname, Quick Feet, shone through once again. Girl, what were you trying to say with that? Thou shalt never lose your spark, Amika. Thou shalt never lose your spark, Amika. Never, not with you, she chuckles. Spare me, please. An abrupt stop to the music was alarming when the crowd formed around an unconscious person. Oh my god. Oh my god. My sister, Leah. Oh no. Why am I laughing? This is not funny. It happens a lot, even since she was born. She was always weak. I don't remember writing this at all. Like, I have no recollection. I remember writing this, but I don't remember what I wrote. It freaked everyone around her. I can't get through the crowd. I pushed and shoved and fought my way there. She was my destination. Wherever I was, I always made sure to get back to her. I grabbed her in my arms, rushing home to get to the medicine she needs. She's forgetting it all the time now, but not by accident. Oh? I don't know where I was going with this. They're all labeled chapter 1, but this is definitely chapter 2. Desperate. Rummaged my hand and grazed over a picture frame of my parents. The glass hit the floor and shattered. Damn! Hidden behind where the glass once was the medicine. Why is she hiding it? Girl, why are you hiding your medicine? Like, what's going on? Like, I want to know too. I carefully picked up the glass just when the door broke open. Amiga shook up Jason, caught his breath, standing in the doorframe. He wasn't the only one here. Where is she? One dark, powerful voice screamed. Jason was quick and quiet to close the door behind him, but whoever was there seemed to notice. This is who Stormstake wants, right? Pointing to Leah, still unconscious. My head was spinning, my arms and legs were weights. I couldn't even process what was happening. They took her? Why? I guess we'll never know. That was Arc of Elements. Okay. Gunsmoke, I wrote this in, I think I was 14. It was definitely giving like dystopian vibes, like dystopian YA, I think. This is the summary. A bullet pierced through the brain of another victim. The killer won't stop. He can't. This is what he was created for. His only way to live? He must go on a journey to find a shocking truth and stop the revolution. The gist is the main character, practically he realizes that he needs to kill someone in order to live for himself. And it's supposed to be this question of like morality. And he tries to justify why he does what he does and why he needs to do what he does. Thinks he's doing the city a service. Anyway, he goes to kill this girl and you come to find out, here is the spoiler plot of it. It's never getting made, but she has like these drugs that practically make it so that he doesn't have to kill, and she uses them too. Where she gets them from, I don't know. But everyone else in LAZ, why it's so criminally coded, it's giving Gotham, is because everyone else needs to do the killing thing as well. So everyone's killing each other because they have to kill each other because they think they're gonna die if they don't. And then overarching over all of this in the city, why is it a thing, is because the main character's dad is running an experiment. Oh my gosh, it's literally like every dystopian YA shit in 2013 ever. That was the gist of the story. Okay, that was Gunsmoke. And also the character, I draw her a lot now. Like, that was like one of the first OCs I've ever made. And so like, I've evolved what she looks like. I'll probably put it on the screen here. Lover's Escape. I wrote this a little bit later. I was like maybe 16 years old when I wrote this one. Definitely now I've learned to write way better. At least I think so. Here's what this one's about. This is the summary I wrote. If you had to fit your life into a backpack, what would you leave behind or give up? A vortex began to spiral in late 2008 when a classmate showed me how he could change the code on a school computer to cheat the answers to our test. If I could have stopped that interaction before it happened, I would have. Not because he ended up failing the test, but because I'm now boarding a ship over the North Atlantic, clutching a fake ID, burner phone, and a USB that could expose every corrupt delete. He's the reason why. For everything, every time. That's not that bad. Definitely not good. I think I will give a summary before I start reading. This had more deeper themes, I'd say. The Lover's Escape was kind of about her like boyfriend, the guy she fell for, is like anti-capitalist, like he's kind of like a hacker sort of thing. I don't know why I was so obsessed with like hacking is so cool, let me learn about hacking and how people do hacking. And I think I was watching a lot of like Nexpo videos, or maybe it wasn't Nexpo, but I was watching a lot of videos about this is the worst virus you can get. I don't know, I thought like hacking was interesting at the time. And so her boyfriend is like this hacker, and it's about watching him become this person who has these morals against politicians and politics and being kind of radical in that sense. And then at the end of the book, he turns into everything that he despised, because practically he gets like caught by the government, by the FBI. They give him like this option to be a hacker that works for the government or face jail time, which I think is something that actually happens in real life, which is crazy. And so he is so scared of being powerless and in jail that like he takes that deal and works with the government he so very hates so much, right? his girlfriend is a journalist, and she decides to tell her story about everything she encountered and all the scary situations she was in because of his like doings, you know, which I think it's a cool concept, but I don't have any want to write it. So it starts off like this. There's no love in politics like there's no belief in the good. I see no good in Father Simmons. Paths diverge, one of safe and holy and the other damned and dark, he told his active listeners. Contribution gold chart hung beside the stage. 8,500 out of 35,000 reached. It read, a basket of bills and change landed in my lap. I hope they can finish building this church. It'll look so gorgeous when it's done. Don't you think, Lay? My gum wrapper ended up in that basket. Oops. This was 10 years ago. Father Simmons scrutinized everyone in confession shortly after, since 8,000 was stolen. I'm now a 21-year-old journalism student who's trying to write an article about the White Cross Church the night before it's due. I dig info on the internet so desperate I clicked 3 different O's in Google to see the other pages. The moment I clicked on one of the web pages, immediately a download queues. Crap! I close the tab, panic shoots down my throat, and revels in my gut. I'm overthinking, blankly staring at my screen for what felt like the longest minute or two. I reach for the mouse, and suddenly the notepad application opens. Letters flicker, panic is burning a hole through me. I freeze, words are typing on the screen, though I'm not touching a thing. Sorry, Lay. I can't let you write that article. Lay? Lay? Only my closest friends and family call me that. It's not even on any of my profiles. What the fuck? What the fuck do I do? Who are you? You're gonna have to do better than that. You're gonna have to give me some answers. I instantly regret. Do I think I'm getting smart with a hacker? I'll make this fun. Countdown from 10. Wait, the screen went black. Shit. That's all I wrote. Yeah, that's all I wrote about it. And I think that's how she gets reunited with the male main character of the story. But the beginning of the story with the church and the goals, it was definitely, I've definitely pulled from my real life and growing up Catholic, and my church was very much about giving money and tithing and things like that. And I thought that was like so interesting to play with as like foreshadowing in a way. Like I would ask about it, why do we need to make this church so grand and beautiful and have to donate so much money? And the answer I got was really just because we have to show how much we love God by giving him a beautiful place like this church, and giving God a beautiful place. And it just conflicted me, and I just played around with that at the beginning of this. So that was Lover's Escape. I think maybe I'll read a little bit of what I'm working on currently. It's called Project Arc, which I think was inspired by like Arc and Element. The title is not gonna have anything to do with Arc, and it has nothing to do with Arc of Elements. It's completely different. And I don't know how much I want to say about it, but it is like a fantasy sci-fi novel. I'm writing this currently, and I do think I can get this published. I think it'll take me a long time, but this story I want to tell, it has to be said. Like, it has to be said. It deals with themes of mythology and fate and taking control of that or surrendering to it. And we're all ordinary people, but we're also not that ordinary at all. We're so unique. And you can be that person that makes the biggest impact in the world just because of happenstance or fate or whatever you believe in. It takes mythology and makes it be told in the present. A lot of history in this book, one side of the like people in this book's history is not actually what it seems, and it was written by people, and we just believe these people to have written our history. And then on the other side of the people in this story, they currently make their history as mythological figures, and it doesn't play with actual real life mythology. It has concepts like the fates and things like that in it, but it's not specific gods. But it takes that concept of like, what if gods knew they were making mythology? What came first? The mythology of it, the story of these gods, or the gods themselves living out their lives? Like, what if these two things coincided? The reality and the presentness of these gods making their mythological story, and the mythological story set out for them that needs to be told. Is their fate set out for them? Can they take over their fate? Could these characters have taken control of their story had they known that this would be written, that their lives would be written? And It's about that. I think it has a unique magic system too. I also wanted to make the main character not a girl who's like super kick-ass, you know, someone who truly has faults. That's why I think when people maybe begin to read the story, they're like, oh my god, she's kind of like a wuss, but like she has her reasons for not being someone who goes and sticks up in a fight, or, you know, she's not that warrior girl type character. And I think that I'd like to see a character like that that's not the one that's always going to be fighting and being a badass, but they're smart and they're just as impactful in other meaningful ways. Someone who truly sticks to their morals. That being said, they still can be a dynamic character, but they can still always have that kindness in their heart no matter what they've been through. And I think that like that would be such a beautiful character to see written, because yeah. And also a love story, because I do want to put romance in the story. I am going to put romance in the story. A love story that's not toxic but unfolding. This is very much the first draft of my book that I have here. It's very rough. Maybe I'll read this. The Parliament's building exterior was so white, it beams the now setting sun's reflection, a stark contrast to its eerie essence inside. I'm definitely going to change that word. Tall concave ceilings in the hallway usually echo the many voices of workers here, but not today. Today there is nobody but the marching feet of Cal and I. A giant door slowly shut at the end of the hallway. I know what's behind that door. I know that stocky figure approaching too. It's my father's. He met us just in the middle of the hallway and spoke in a hushed tone. Thank you, Cal. Cal nodded in response. What's going on? I snapped, still replicating their quiet tone. My father grabbed my shoulder. Paige, you are to be tested. For what? By who? I asked. Was Layla tested? Was that the reason she left scared? I can't help but conclude that as the answer. The words turned to dust in my mouth because the sentinel was behind that door. Suddenly, gelatin and my legs had something in common. I turned to Cal as my father led me, with fear-worn face, begging as if he could save me, but his mouth was just a hard line. And yeah, those were my stories, just some of my stories. I think if you're a writer or someone that just enjoys writing, keep making stories. I think I got back into writing because I honored my past self, even my childhood self that just loved telling stories, and I really did want to be an author as a child. As I got older, I thought that was impossible because I suck at grammar, but it just takes some hard work and a lot of editing and learning. But now it's like, go for it, go for what you want, do what you want to do, and fuck it. If you're into the content I make on this channel, I make cozy content, book related content, all that sort of thing. Follow my Instagram. I post my cozy stuff there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.